Hello. Oh, how's it going? Welcome to this next Dino review for Yidaro, Wandering Monster. Just completed a stream featuring this guy, Yahoo Yidaro 2, just last night. Oh, it was lovely. A little bit more misses than hits, unfortunately, but definitely check that out in the Dino live streams when you get the chance. This video is all about Yidaro, the potential for this card, what you might use with him, things like that. The reasons I certainly enjoy him. Now, some of you may be thinking, costing 5 and 2 red, that's pretty expensive, maybe too expensive for dinos. But I don't think that's the case. I think there's some great inevitability with this card, especially with his abilities. But simply, trample and haste, absolutely fantastic stuff on a very respectable 8/8 body. When you cycle Yidaro, Wandering Monster, shuffle him into your library from your graveyard. If you've cycled a card named Yidaro Wandering Monster 4 or more times this game, put it onto the battlefield from your graveyard instead. Pretty nice being able to do something else on turn 2 just at some point, or if you have, a little bit of extra mana and you want to hopefully get to cycling Yidaro 4 times. I think that's pretty valid, pretty nice, but I do like when you do get to 4, there's a great eventuality to this card, and certainly if you are using something like Commune with Dinosaurs, that's going to be good. It's going to be very important. It's going to help you see Yidaro a little bit more often, hopefully get to cycling him more often. But of course, if you don't get close to cycling Yidaro 4 times, you might have Marauding Raptor or Otepec Hunt Master, you're stacking that cost reduction. Chances are you could be playing him for way less than 7, possibly 5, 4. Chances are that doesn't happen because, unfortunately, Marauding Raptor and Otepec Hunt Master, they die to quite a lot of stuff. Fatal Push, stuff that deals 2 damage, 3 damage. They don't last too long in a lot of cases. So having Yidaro, which by the time you cycle him the 4th, it's pretty darn good. So for 1 in a red, you can technically consider Yidaro a 8/8 trample haste, can't be countered, flash, and draw a card. Because cycling isn't an actual spell, you're not casting him. Yidaro simply goes onto the battlefield. He doesn't go onto the stack. You can't really respond to it. You could respond to the cycling if you do have an ability or a spell that can counter it, but that's pretty few and far between. So chances are when you do get to cycling Yidaro the 4th time, he's probably coming down. Lovely, doing this at the end of the opponent's turn. You got him coming up, but even if you do it on your own turn, of course, the first main phase, he does have haste, so you're going to be attacking with him anyways, and you still get to draw that card, which is absolutely fantastic. I can see Yidaro being pretty good against control matchups, where the game might go longer. You want something that can't be countered or is really difficult to interact with. It can certainly get on the board quite easily with the cycling. So effectively having can't be countered for 1 in a red. But we do got to talk about the elephant in the room, or at least the massive dino. Last night when I was using Yidaro, I took out Galta, the queen, 12/12 trample. The best dino. Probably my favorite dino, I would say. But I feel like you can have the top end be Yidaro instead of Galta. Chances are you may be able to cast Yidaro a little bit easier. And if you do get multiple copies of Yidaro, of course you can just simply cycle it away, draw a card. That's pretty fantastic. But if you have multiple copies of Galta, of course, that's going to feel certainly a little bit awkward. And you want multiple copies of Yidaro just to get to cycling him 4 times. That much faster. And speaking of multiples, probably should have all 4 copies of him just so you get to meeting that requirement. It's a lovely time when 1 in a red, this guy just pops out on the board. He was wandering and then bam, there he is, like a dog, just zooming around. And then of course, if you want to play things a little bit safer, you want some more stable ramp to maybe eventually get Yidaro, maybe not the cycling ability, but could of course opt to go with Thunderherd Migration over Otepec Hunt Master, getting a basic land. Certainly that's a lot more durable than a 1/2 creature that dies to basically a Swift Breeze, unfortunately. So you can naturally extend and play a little bit of a longer game against certain decks. So you pair that stable ramp with Yidaro, maybe Carnage Tyrant, of course, the fantastic headache for basically anything with targeted removal. Having hexproof and can't be countered is always a good time. So I could see Yidaro being a pretty fantastic replacement for Galta. Certainly, I think it makes sense, at least in my mind, and having 4 copies, it's always a good time. And being a dino, you're able to grab it with Commune with Dinosaurs. So I think overall, this guy is very, very positive. Certainly very cheap in paper. Now, hopefully you have a couple copies on Arena or whatever platform you're playing on. But definitely in paper, I would suggest picking him up. It doesn't have to be extended art like this, but the extended art is absolutely fantastic in Ikoria. It's actually true extended art. That'll about do it for my Dino review of Yidaro Wandering Monster. I think he has absolutely fantastic potential on a fantastic body and a great eventuality. Kind of like Thanos from Avengers. I am inevitable. Although this guy is certainly a lot nicer than him. So good luck wandering with your dinos. See you next time.